菜根谭
Tending the roots of wisdom.
145，亮红石膏，功德日进。
145. With a broad mind and high wisdom, virtues and achievements advance daily.
菜根谭原文：德随量进，量由石长，故欲厚其德，不可不弘其量；欲弘其量，不可不大其实。
白话文注解：一个人的品德、气度、经验，三者是不能分离的，因为品德随着气度的宽宏而增长，气度也会由于丰富的人生经验而更为宽宏。因此，想要增长自己的品德，就不能不使自己的气度宽宏；要宽宏自己的气度，就不能不增长自己的生活历练。
145-1. A person's character, demeanor, and experience are inseparable. Character grows with a broad-minded demeanor, and demeanor becomes more expansive with enriching life experiences. To enhance one's character, one must cultivate a broad-minded demeanor. To develop a broad-minded demeanor, one must accumulate life experiences. Translated by Bayandefu.
145-2. Virtue advances with generosity. Generosity evolves by way of judgment. Thus, if you wish to enhance your virtue, you can't do it without enlarging your generosity. If you wish to enhance your generosity, you can't do it without expanding your judgment. Translated by Robert Aitken Daniel W. Wyckoff. 145-3. Virtue increase along with magnanimity. Magnanimity arises from the increase in man's knowledge. Therefore, if you wish to increase your virtue, you must make yourself more magnanimous, and to do so you must increase your knowledge. Translated by Paul White.
145-4. The character, demeanor, and experience of an individual are inseparable. Character grows with the breadth of one's demeanor, and demeanor becomes more generous with enriched life experiences. Therefore, to enhance one's character, it is essential to cultivate a generous demeanor, and to broaden one's demeanor, it is necessary to accumulate life experiences. Translated by Wen Lin.
146，人生为微，道心为微。
146. In life, only danger is certain. In the way of the Tao, only humility is certain.
菜根谭原文：一灯盈然，万籁无声，此无人出入厌寂时也；小梦初醒，群动未起，此无人出混沌处也。乘此而一念回光，迥然反照，使之而口鼻皆桎梏，而情欲嗜好悉机械矣。
白话文注解：一盏灯亮着微光，四周寂静无声，这是我们身心刚要进入安息时，清晨夜梦方醒，万物还都没开始一天的活动时，这是我们刚脱离一团模糊状态的时候。在这将息和刚刚睡醒的一刹那间，好像有一线灵光闪烁在我们的脑海，突然使我们的内心有所醒悟，才知道耳目口鼻都是束缚我们心智的枷锁，情欲嗜好是使我们性灵堕落的刑具。
146-1. A dim light shines from a lamp, surrounded by silence, signifying the onset of rest for both body and mind. At dawn, just upon awakening from a night's dream, when everything is still in the quiet of the morning before the day's activities begin, that's when we've just emerged from a state of confusion. In that moment of rest and just awoken clarity, it's as if a glimmer of insight flashes in our minds, suddenly awakening us to the realization that our senses, ears, eyes, nose, and mouth, are the shackles that bind our intellect, while desires and attachments are the instruments that lead our spiritual essence astray. Translated by Bayandefu.
146-2. When a single lamp flickers like a firefly and the many rustling sounds are hushed, it is time for my quiet repose. At dawn, I rouse from my dreams. Activities of the day have not yet begun, and it is time for me to come forth from primal chaos. When I use these moments and turn to reflection, then in the light of a single thought, I realize at last with ultimate clarity that the ear, eye, mouth, and nose are all of them fetters and manacles, and emotions, desires, and preferences are no more than instruments and mechanisms. Translated by Robert Aitken and Daniel W. Wyckoff. 146-3. When the candle flame flutters weakly and there is no sound on earth, it is time for us to go to sleep. In the dawn, when one has just woken from sleep and nothing is yet astir, it is time for us to start the day with a sober mind. If we take advantage of such a time to reflect upon ourselves, like sunlight shining on our souls, we will then realize that our ears, eyes, mouths, and noses are fetters upon our understanding, and that our carnal desires and addictions are instruments for confusing our true natures. Translated by Paul White.
146-4. A dim light illuminates the surroundings in silence, signaling the moment when our body and mind are about to enter a state of rest. In the early morning, just after awakening from night dreams and before the world begins its daily activities, we find ourselves emerging from a vague state. In this brief moment between rest and waking, it seems as if a faint light is flickering in our minds, suddenly enlightening us. It is only then that we realize our senses, ears, eyes, nose, and mouth, are the shackles that bind our intellect, and desires and cravings are the instruments that lead our spiritual nature astray. Translated by Wen Lin.
147. 诸恶莫作，众善奉行。
147. Do not commit any wrongdoings. Practice all virtues.
菜根谭原文。反己者，处事皆成要时，由人者，动念即是割毛。亦以辟众善之路，亦以峻诸恶之源，相去萧壤矣。
白话文注解：一个肯经常自我反省的人，接触到的任何事都可以是警醒自己的良药。一个经常怨天尤人的人，他的每个念头都会是刺伤他人的割毛。可见，自我反省是使人向善的唯一途径，而怨天尤人则是产生各种罪恶的源泉，两者之间的分野真是有天壤之别。
147-1. A person who is willing to engage in regular self-reflection can find lessons for improvement in every experience they encounter. On the other hand, someone who often blames others and complains about life will find that every thought they harbor becomes a weapon to harm others. This illustrates that self-reflection is the sole path to goodness, while blaming others is the wellspring of various wrongdoings. The contrast between the two is truly vast and distinct. Translated by Bayan Defu.
147-2. If the blame is on me, everything I encounter can be a remedy. If I blame others, each turn of my thought will be a weapon. One opens the way to a multitude of blessings. The other is the source of innumerable evils. They are as distant from each other as heaven is from earth. Translated by Robert Aitken Daniel W. Wyckoff. 147-3. A person who engages in self-reflection turns everything he comes into contact with into a good tonic which keeps him alert. But a man who is always blaming others turns every single thought into a spear with which to harm others. Self-reflection is like blazing a trail to all good things, whereas blaming others is like opening up a channel to the wellspring of all evils. The two are as far apart as heaven and earth. Translated by Paul White.
147-4. A person who is willing to engage in self-reflection regularly can find enlightenment in any experience, turning each encounter into a salutary reminder. On the contrary, an individual who often blames others and complains about fate will turn every thought into a spear that wounds others. It is evident that self-reflection is the sole path towards goodness, while blaming others is the source of various wrongdoings. The distinction between the two is truly profound. Translated by Wen Lin.
148. 功名一时，气节千载。
148. Achievements and fame may be fleeting, but one's integrity can endure for 1,000 years.
菜根谭原文。事业文章随身销毁，而精神万古如新；功名富贵逐世转移，而气节千载一日。君子信不当以彼一词也。
白话文注解：事业和文章会随着人的死亡而消失，只有圣贤的精神才永垂不朽。 功名利禄和富贵荣华，更会随时代的变迁而转移，唯独忠臣义士的志节才会永远留在人间。一个有道德修养的君子，绝对不可以放弃能留名青史的千秋万世气节，去换取会随身销毁的短暂的事业和文章。
148-1. Achievements and literary works will fade away with a person's passing, but the spirit of sages and wise individuals will endure eternally. Fame, fortune, and worldly success are subject to the changing tides of time, while the integrity of loyal and righteous individuals will forever remain in the world. A morally cultivated gentleman must never forsake the enduring principles that can leave a lasting legacy in history, in exchange for fleeting achievements and writings that will vanish with their own lifetime. Translated by Bayan Defu.
148-2. Exploits and literary writings perish along with their creators, but the vital spirit tit is fresh through 10,000 ages. Achievement, reputation, wealth, and honors change in the course of generations, but for the upright mind, 1,000 years is like a single day. Thus the noble person is steadfast and does not lightly take achieving for integrity. Translated by Robert Aitken Daniel W. Wyckoff. 148-3. Accomplishments and hallowed writings perish with their creators. The spirit, however, is everlasting. Official position, wealth and fame change with the passage of time, but moral integrity remains constant. The virtuous man must on no account sacrifice his spirit in pursuit of accomplishments and literary fame, nor moral integrity for wealth and power. Translated by Paul White.
148-4. Career and writings will disappear with a person's death. Only the spirit of the virtuous and wise will endure eternally. Achievements, fame, wealth, and glory will shift with the changing times, but the integrity of loyal subjects and righteous individuals will remain forever. A person of moral cultivation, a true gentleman, should never abandon the enduring integrity that leaves a mark in history for the fleeting success of career and writings that will be lost with one's passing. Translated by Wen Lin.
149. 自然造化之妙，智巧所不能及。
149. The wonders of nature's creation surpass what intelligence and cleverness can achieve.
菜根谭原文：渔网之设，鸿则离其中；螳螂之贪，却又成其后。机里藏机，变外生变，智巧何足是哉？
白话文注解：本来是一张为捕鱼而设的网，不料鸿雁却落在网中，贪婪的螳螂一心想吃眼前的蝉，不料后面却有一只黄雀想要吃它。可见天地之间万物的道理实在太奥妙，玄机中还藏有另外的玄机，变故中又会发生另外的变故。人类的智慧和计谋又有什么可仗势的呢？
149-1. Originally intended as a fishing net, it unexpectedly caught a pair of wild geese. A greedy mantis, focused on devouring the nearby cicada, was unaware of the lurking yellow sparrow behind it. This demonstrates the profound mysteries within the world, where even deeper intricacies lie hidden within. Surprises can give birth to more surprises, leaving us to wonder, what reliance can human wisdom and schemes truly offer? Translated by Bayan Defu.
149-2. The net is set for fish, and it catches a swan. The praying mantis awaits a meal, and a sparrow is following along behind. Within a contrivance is hidden. Beyond a calamity develops. How can one rely on ingenuity for good effect? Translated by Robert Aitken Daniel W. Wyckoff. 149-3. When a trap is set for fish, it sometimes happens that a frog blunders into it. A mantis stalks a cicada, only to fall prey to the unseen finch following it. There are wheels within wheels, and cataclysms can occur outside cataclysms. Of what value or reliability are man's wisdom and schemes? Translated by Paul White.
149-4. Originally, it was a net set up for fishing, but unexpectedly, wild geese landed in it. A greedy mantis, focused on devouring the cicada in front of it, didn't expect a yellow sparrow behind, intending to eat the mantis. This illustrates the profound mysteries between heaven and earth, where there are hidden intricacies within intricacies, and unexpected changes within changes. In the face of such complexity, what reliance can human wisdom and strategies truly have? Translated by Wen Lin.
150. 真诚为人，圆转涉世。
150. Be genuine in your interactions with others, and navigate the world with tact.
菜根谭原文：做人无点真恳念头，变成个花子，事事皆虚；涉世无断圆活积蓄，便是个牧人，处处有爱。
白话文注解：一个人假如没有一点真诚恳切的心意，就会变成一个绣花枕头，不论做什么事情都不踏实。一个人生活在世界上，如果没有一点圆通灵活和随机应变的机智，就是一个毫无生机的木头人，无论做什么事都会到处遇到阻碍。
150-1. A person devoid of sincerity and earnestness resembles an embroidered pillow, lacking substance in all their endeavors. Similarly, navigating through life. If one does not possess a flexible and agile mindset, they transform into a lifeless, wooden figure, continually facing obstacles at every turn. Translated by Bian Defu.
150-2. As a human being, if you don't have a touch of sincerity in mind, it will be as though you have a painted face. All your activities will be false. Passing through the world, your entire existence will be mechanical, and you will be like a wooden puppet. Everywhere there will be obstacles. Translated by Robert Aitken Daniel W. Wyckoff. 150-3. A person bereft of sincerity is like the facial makeup a woman wears, everything he does is mere empty show. When dealing with the world, if a person does not approach matters with a flexible and nimble mind, he will become a lifeless and wooden object, and encounter obstacles everywhere. Translated by Paul White.
150-4. If a person lacks sincerity and genuine intentions, they will become like an embroidered pillow, never feeling at ease no matter what they do. Living in the world without flexibility, adaptability, and resourcefulness is akin to being a lifeless wooden figure, encountering obstacles everywhere in any endeavor. Translated by Wen Lin.
151. 云去而本觉之月现，沉浮而真如之镜明。
151. As clouds dissipate, behold the moon of innate awareness. As dust is swept away, the mirror of true nature becomes clear.
菜根谭原文：水不波则自定，见不异则自明。故心无可轻，去其混之者而轻自现；乐不必寻，去其苦之者而乐自存。
白话文注解：无风的水面自然是平静的，不落尘土的镜面自然是明亮的。所以人类的心灵根本无需来刻意清洗，只需除去心中的邪恶杂念，清明的心灵自然会再现，快乐也根本不必费力去追求，只要拔除苦恼之根，那么快乐幸福的生活自然会呈现在我们眼前。
151-1. A water surface remains calm in the absence of wind. A mirror stays bright when free from dust. Similarly, the human mind need not be forcibly cleansed. Merely eliminating impure thoughts will restore its clarity. Happiness, too, need not be strenuously pursued. By uprooting the sources of distress, a content and joyful life will naturally unfold before us. Translated by Bian Defu.
151-2. Water that is not agitated is naturally still. A mirror that is not filmed over is naturally clear. In the same way the mind need not be purified. When you take away what disturbs it, then its inherent purity is manifest. Happiness is not something to be sought. When you take away worries, then naturally you know happiness. Translated by Robert Aitken Daniel W. Wyckoff. 151-3. When there are no waves on the surface of the pond, the water is naturally still. When the dust is clean from a mirror, it is naturally bright. Therefore, it is not necessary to clean your heart, just get rid of muddy, misleading thoughts, and your pure spirit will naturally emerge. Likewise, it is not necessary to seek happiness, just get rid of the pain in your heart, and happiness will naturally abide there. Translated by Paul White.
151-4. The water surface remains calm without wind. A mirror stays bright when free of dust. Therefore, there is no need for humans to deliberately cleanse their minds. It's only necessary to eliminate evil and distracting thoughts, and a clear and serene mind will naturally reappear. Similarly, happiness doesn't require strenuous pursuit. By uprooting the causes of distress, a life of joy and fulfillment will naturally unfold before us. Translated by Wen Lin.
152. 一念能动鬼神，一行克动天地。
152. A single thought can move gods and spirits. A single action can conquer heaven and earth.
菜根谭原文：有一念犯鬼神之禁，一言而伤天地之和，一事而酿子孙之祸者，罪宜切戒。
白话文注解：假如有一种邪恶的观念触犯了鬼神的禁忌，或者有一句话破坏了人间祥和之气，或者做了一件伤天害理的事，而为后代子孙留下祸患，所有这些都必须特别加以警惕，绝不能去做。
152-1. At times, a mere thought can defy the sacred norms of spirits and deities. A single word can disturb the cosmic harmony, and an action can unleash calamity upon future generations. Such occurrences demand heightened vigilance and caution. Translated by Bayan Defu.
152-2. With a single thought, you can violate the precepts of gods and demons. With a single word, you can impair the harmony of heaven and earth. With a single act, you can give rise to misfortune for your descendants. Be fervently vigilant. Translated by Robert Aiken Daniel W. Wyckoff. 152-3. There are times when a single thought can transgress the taboos of the gods and ghosts, when one word can mar the harmony of the universe, when one action can bring disaster upon one's descendants. One should be especially vigilant against such things. Translated by Paul White.
152-4. If there is an evil idea that violates the taboos of the spirits, or if a statement disrupts the harmony among people, or if an action harms the natural order and leaves a curse for future generations, all of these must be particularly guarded against and should never be done. Translated by Wen Lin.